I said something in yesterday's podcast episode that I want to expand upon a bit here. And I talked about how in the beginning of my career, I wasn't really being my authentic self. I wasn't dressing the way I wanted to dress. And the reasons for that is because I wanted to fit in. I wanted the respect of my colleagues and peers. But today I want to go deeper into like how my culture influenced why I wanted to be who I was and some of the backlash that I experienced at that time. Race played a role in it, I'm sure. Cultural norms played a role in it, I'm sure. But honestly, and I said this in yesterday's podcast, I want to go deeper into this too. Once I decided to be my true authentic self, things completely exploded and I flourished in a way that I couldn't have imagined, both financially and professionally, but also personally. Like, I'm just proud of who I am today, and I'm proud of what it means to be me, and that I could succeed as me. I didn't have to compromise my values and what's important to me. I could actually be me in the truest, realest sense of me. And that's important. So that's why I wanted to make sure we got really clear about that in today's episode. So welcome back to the aha moments, where every day I share the lessons I've learned in my work as a psychotherapist and in my life to inspire you to live your very best life. Of course, I'm your host, Elliott Connie. So I want to be very, very honest about this. Like, this was an incredibly difficult journey for me, and the challenges of it were significant. Whenever you're a Black person walking into an environment that is devoid of other Black people and of Black culture, I think it's a natural response to try to assimilate, especially when you're around a bunch of people that you do admire. Like, these were people that I studied in graduate school. I'll never forget the first conference I went to was in 2008. I actually wore a suit. I presented at this conference, but I was there mostly as an attendee, and I wore a suit to this event. And I will never forget, there was a woman, I won't say her name, not because I'm afraid to, I just don't want to give her any attention or publicity because she's such a horrible person. But I studied her when I was in graduate school, and I will never forget, in the like lobby of this conference, they had set up a bookstore, and I was just kind of perusing at the books on the table for this bookstore. I turned, and there was that woman whose books I had studied, and I had such admiration for her. But she became one of my most significant tormentors because it was very obvious that I did not fit in. And I tried as hard as I could, and I stupidly thought, if I dress like them, walk like them, talk like them, they'll accept me and I will fit in. But that's not what happened. I realized that no matter what I wore, no matter how I showed up, the fact that I just was the color skin that I was, that they were not going to appreciate who I was as a person. It was very challenging for me. Like, it was very, very hard for me to live in that reality. But it got me to a place where it's like, I'm just going to do this how I want to do this. And the hard part is, like, once I started dressing as myself and showing up as myself, it really created a significant issue between me and people like her and her colleagues, and certain professional associations were very upset with me. I remember one time they would, and just to tell you how race plays roles in it, one of my closest friends at that time, he's now my very best friend, but his name is Adam. And Adam and I were both wearing a hoodie, basketball shorts, and gym shoes. And later on, somebody remarked about how Adam looked like he was working out, but Elliott looked like a thug. We were literally wearing the same exact kind of clothes, but their bias caused them to be like, oh, Adam looks like he's being casual and going to work out, and Elliott looks like a thug. And that really hurt. But as I was realizing I was being shunned by this one group, the world was really resonating with me, because people resonate with you when you are able to show them your true self. People cannot connect with you until you're being your true authentic self. People cannot connect with you while you're showing them a facade. They can only connect with you when you're being true, real, and genuine. And my audience really connected with me on that level. My audience really connected with me in that way before I knew it. I was having more success than anyone in this space. I was having more success than anyone in this field. And it made the journey that I had gone through to get there worth it. It made the journey that I had gone through to get there significant. And I think that's the thing I want to say to you is, like, once you decide to be your true authentic self, that doesn't mean that the hard part is over. In my case, that actually meant the hard part was just beginning, but it meant the purpose part was now present. And now it's like, this is worth it because I get to be the version of me that I like, that I see, that I benefit from. I get to be the version of me that will create change and make me and my grandmother and my uncle very, very proud. So do what matters to you. Let the world adjust. Thanks for being here. If you wouldn't mind doing me a super huge favor, I would love it if you would share this podcast with at least one person in your life that you think could benefit from hearing this message today. And also don't forget to subscribe on Apple Podcasts or anywhere else you listen to your podcast. And also follow me on all of the social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Blue Sky. You can search for my name, Elliott Connie, or at Elliott Speaks. That's my handle across all platforms. Can't wait to see you tomorrow.